Reach Records just announced their latest signing to be none other than the Nigerian Afro gospel singer Limoblaze. And yeah, this doesn't come to much surprise to anyone because like we've been seeing him around. Well, at least if you pay attention to Christian rap and stuff, and you've definitely been seeing him around the space. He's collaborated with a bunch of people. He's collaborated with Reach for years at this point. I think the first time I heard of him was on the I think it was the 2020 playlist, their summer playlist. Pretty sure that was the first time that I heard him. And he's done multiple songs with them. He's even got a song that's doing really well right now, even on the top 50 Christian charts with Lecrae and some other guy called Jireh, My Provider. And the Afrobeats sound has really taken off, like mainstream. I'd say like in the past 3 years, I think that's when I started noticing it in more mainstream media, because of course I've always known that it existed, but just never really seen it on like see it like celebrated and displayed on such a large stage. And it's it's great to see it happening and all that. So it only makes sense that someone with his sound to really be on the up and up. So yeah, it just makes sense altogether for him to be on Reach Records. And he, just like all of the like new Reach Records signees, whenever they first signed to the label, they almost immediately release a new project. And his is the EP called Sunday in Lagos, because I'm pretty sure this is the same thing that happened when Wande and Halvey got signed, because I definitely remember when Halvey got signed, he dropped an EP like just right after he got signed by Reach Records. I think it was called the what was it, self-titled or introduction or something like that, right? And I'm pretty sure Wande dropped her EP as well, like the one where she was in the desert and stuff, like for the music video and everything. I'm pretty sure she dropped that right after she signed with Reach Records. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. So yeah, this is basically like introduction to, like, it's, I don't know, I think it's basically an introduction for him to the like bigger audience now that he is signed to Reach Records and he's going to receive all that promotion and stuff. But to be honest with you, I'm not anticipating like the best here, because like for me personally, I've liked Afrobeats and stuff, and I like really specific songs, but it's kind of like reggaeton for me, to where like a lot of it sounds so similar that you just kind of, I don't know, like everything just starts to kind of sound regular to you, because a lot of people who do like reggaeton and stuff, unless you're like actually like Latina or Spanish or whatever, like it just kind of all sounds the same to you. Everyone's kind of gonna sound like very similar beats and stuff, and they're all kind of doing the same thing in this bubble, and that can get really repetitive and really like turn you off from the music. And that's kind of where I've kind of been with Afrobeats for a while now, actually. So yeah, hopefully this one won't be repetitive. Hopefully, it'll have like a nice diverse layer of sounds, even if it's just Afrobeats. So I've gone on for too long, so let's begin with the first track. We have Pull Up. I'll be right back. Alright, not gonna lie, I don't think I fully understand. I mean I fully understood that one because of the slang. Because even going through the lyrics on Genius while I'm listening to the song, it just I think I missed a couple things actually. Yeah, I think the song's basically about him claiming the strength of God and all that stuff, and saying that he fears no man, he only fears God. And I think that's basically what it's saying. But yeah, just because of the slang and everything, and just like the way how he was talking, I just didn't fully understand everything that he was saying throughout the song. But it's still a good song in my opinion. Overall, instrumentally, it's It's really groovy. It's easy to get into. It's pretty short, 2 minutes 33 seconds long. I like the like the guy saying "pull up" in the background, and yeah, it's just a nice, like, not exactly a banger. I wouldn't say it's a banger exactly, but it's like, it's just a nice opening track. I don't have much to say about it. I don't fully understand it, but it's got a nice, uh, gosh, it's so hard to describe this song, but it's a good song. It's a good song. Is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's basically it. It's a nice opening track, uh, saying he doesn't fear no man, he only fears God, and the power of God, and that's great. And it's I don't know what else to tell you, honestly. It's a good song. It's a good opening song. I can't think about much else to say about it. So yeah, let's move on to track 2. We have Desire with Imandibang. No, Imandiang, I think it is. Anyway, I'll be right back. Alright, now that's better. That is really, really better. Desire by Limoblaze and Imandiang. Pretty sure that's what it's pronounced. It's a really, really great song. The song's basically about, well, with Limo and Imandiang, they're basically singing about God being their provider and protector, and how they'll follow wherever he wants them to go. Good message, great. And yeah, I really like all of the layers in this song. I'm pretty sure it was released as a single, because I see it has a lot more plays than everything else on the track list here, and I can totally see why. It is really groovy, really easy to get into. Imandiang almost, or pretty much, honestly, stole the show in the song with her words. Oh, her voice is beautiful. It is so beautiful. It is really, really, really beautiful. It just, like, I wasn't expecting it to, like, I'm just like, the way how she incorporated her voice in, like, creatively into the track. It just, it just really set the tone really well for me. And yeah, Limo does, great singing as well, especially when him and Imandiang, like, basically share a final verse on the track. And that whole, like, dodi dodi thing, like, that's really catchy and easy to get into as well. So yeah, it's just a really happy, vibrant, celebratory, like, like God-loving, God-praising anthem of a song. And it works really, really well in that way. Everyone does a great job here. I like the, I'm pretty sure it's a trumpet on the instrumental when they get into the chorus, unless I'm getting my wind instruments wrong or something. It's just trumpet. No, I think it's a trumpet, really. I think it's a trumpet. Yeah, but that, whatever that was in the background, really helped the mood. And yeah, so just overall, Desire, really great song, good message, great singing from everyone, great production, just a solid track all around. So overall, I give Desire a solid 7.5 out of 10. Really enjoyed that one. Really, really great. Let's move on to track 3. Limoblaze featuring Banky W, Hosanna. Alright, Hosanna with Limoblaze and Banky W. This one's pretty interesting, or at least the instrumental is very interesting, because at first I wasn't really into it, but by the end I kind of got it. I think I kind of got it. Anyway, so the song's basically, well, it's basically about what at least the previous song was also about. It's about praising God and giving praise to God and all that stuff. And they both do a good job. Not gonna lie, the first time that I heard this song, because I listened to it multiple times, the first time I couldn't really tell the difference between who was Limo and who was Banky. That was kind of hard for me. But on the second listen, I eventually realized that Banky was on the second verse, and they both do a good job, a similar job, because that's why I had a hard time kind of knowing who's who, but still a good job either way. And not gonna lie to you, this one just kind of came and went for me. It's pretty short, 2 minutes 44 seconds, but I don't think that's the problem. The only thing that really makes it stand out is the very interesting instrumental. It's weird. Like I mean I've heard instrumentals like it before in more like Caribbean style music and stuff, but I don't know. It just really stood out to me a lot more than the lyrics, and just however they were performing on the song. And yeah, I just don't have much to say about it. It just didn't really have any much standout moments for me, aside from the instrumental, which is very interesting and odd to me for some reason, because I'm not sure if it's because I haven't heard one like that in a while, or if it's just an odd instrumental in itself, but it just really stood out to me in a good way, at least. But everything else kind of just went by for me. Not gonna go back to this one at all, really. Limo and Banky do a good enough job, but they just don't deliver like performances that are stand out enough to really justify repeat listens, in my opinion. But if you're into Afro gospel, if you're into Afro beats or gospel, or more like Nigerian, Caribbean style gospel or worship music, then this will definitely do it for you. But everyone else, not really, in my opinion. So Hosanna, I give it a nice 6.5 out of 10. Not bad, not great, but it's good enough. But just kind of just kind of passes along its way. So let's move on to track number 4. We have I Believe featuring 1K Few. Alright, I Believe, Limoblaze, and 1K Few. Yeah, this was another good one, but also another one that just kind of felt like it kind of passed by, honestly, because I listened to it like 3 or 4 times, because not that I didn't get it, it's just that it just kind of felt like it was just passing by, and I kind of felt my mind like drifting off to something else, and then by the time I drift back, it's like, oh, it's someone else's verse now. So I focused, listened to it fully out through, and yeah, it just feels I don't know, it just feels kind of just like formulaic and basic, honestly, but not in like a bad way, because it's a well done, it's a well executed song. It's just that it's not much. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Limoblaze on this one, his performance kind of felt kind of passive, honestly. On his verse, he didn't feel as energetic or as into it as his previous performances on here. But it was fine, but it just it just didn't feel like much. But thankfully, 1K Few, no disrespect to Limo or nothing, but he just came in and just bodied his verse, just like the way how he was creatively using his voice, like the different flows and the different voices that he made with his voice. Wow. Voice inflections and stuff like that. There's just the way how he switched things up throughout his verse, even though it wasn't that long. It was very entertaining, very engaging, and just really great overall. So yeah, I applaud him for that. That was a really great feature verse from him. But yeah, just overall, it's a pretty low key. I didn't even tell you what the song was about. It's just about them saying that they believe in God, follow God, love God, basic stuff. But yeah, just overall, the instrumental and production on it is pretty decent. It's not bad or anything. It's just a low key Afrobeats kind of vibe to it. And it's just kind of it just felt like it was kind of there, you know, didn't really have anything interesting to listen to really, apart from 1K Fuse verse. So that's basically how I feel about the whole song right there. Not bad, you know, not like really good or great or anything, but you know, it's just passable. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. That's just how I feel about it. So overall, I give it a good 6.5 out of 10. Sorry, 6.5 out of 10. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. I just wish if it had more to it, and I just wish if Limo's performance was more engaging, I think. So let's move on to track 5. We have Gold featuring Ada Ehi, I think it's pronounced. I'll be right back. All right, Gold featuring Ada Ehi, I don't even know. Anyway, yeah, great song, really great song. It reminded me a bit of Desire, just the way how the collaboration worked out, and also like the way how the song sounds. So basically, the song's talking about, well, it's them, you know, saying God's love is gold, God's love is better than gold. You know, they wouldn't trade anything for their relationship with God. Good message, right? Good. And it has a very infectious and lively, like, upbeat feel to the song. It's a very happy song. It's a very celebratory song, a lot like Desire. You know, it's very similar in that regard. It doesn't sound, you know, like, it doesn't sound like exactly similar, but it is like very similar. But you know, you get what I'm saying. So Gold, great song. I like Limo's performance here better than what he did on Desire. Yeah, it's a great song overall, just what I'm trying to say. And Ada Ehi, yeah, she does a great job as well. I really like her voice and all that. Sounded very Caribbean to me, or at least because I hear very similar voices in Caribbean countries down here, and yeah, that's a wild eye. And also, but what really like brought me to like together with the song was just the interesting things that they did, instrumentally, like production wise, is what really brought me into the song, because especially on the bridge where Limo was singing and then the beats kind of interacting with him as he sings, right? That was really interesting on the bridge there. Like the part when he said like space space space, and he made that like kind of like chopping noise or something like that. Yeah, that was really cool. That was really interesting. So yeah, it's just an overall a really great celebratory, God praising, God loving kind of song. And it's, you know, it doesn't reinvent the wheel or anything like that, but it doesn't have to. It's a well executed song. And yeah, it's just, you know, it's just a really great song. I don't have a lot to say about it because, you know, I hear a lot of songs like this. I hear, you know, it's a very formulaic kind of song, but you know, not everyone has to like push boundaries or whatever, instrumentally or just creatively wise. And yeah, this is just a great example of well executed formula. It's celebratory, it's, you know, it's nice and catchy, it's got the nice guitars in the background. It's I like the ways how they make things interesting instrumentally. And yeah, both of the artists do a great job with their singing. So yeah, it's just a great track all around. Yeah, not much else to say. So yeah, that's about it. So overall, I give Gold featuring Ada Ehi a 7 out of 10, a solid 7 out of 10. So another great track. Let's move on to track 6. We have Company featuring Dina Moana, something like that. I don't even know. Alright, Company featuring Dina Moana was a pretty good song. Pretty good. It's basically about, well, as far as I could understand and listen, it's basically about them saying that God always listens to them whenever they speak to him. and he gives them attention. That's basically what the song's about. Also, just just a regular God praising kind of stuff. That's just expected. That's just there. That's regular stuff. But the song overall, it's pretty short. 2 minutes 36 seconds long, but that doesn't really hinder anything. But again, I just kind of feel like it's just kind of passing by, honestly. And at this point, I'm just kind of wondering if it's just my taste, really, if it's just not my thing, because it's not a bad song. I can recognize the good qualities of it and stuff, but it's just kind of blandly passing by. Everyone does a great job. The production isn't bad or anything. It's not badly mixed or anything like that. Not at all. Like, Limo does a great job. Well, not great, a good job. Denna does a good job as well. Great singers. The instrumental, I'm pretty sure I heard some violins in there. Just everything's going good. Everything's going good, right? But for some reason, I just don't feel. I don't know. I just don't feel any sort of attachment to it. I don't feel anything gripping me to it. Nothing really feels kind of solid. It's just kind of like been there, done that. I've heard this. I've heard a bunch of songs like this before, and that's just how I'm feeling about it. So, similar to the others, I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. Nothing's really bad about it. It's just kind of there. It's just kind of regular. That's just what's holding it back for me. So, yeah, good job all around. Good production. It just kind of feels regular to me, and that's why I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. Not bad, not great, but it's good enough. So let's move on to the 7th and final track, and the biggest track on the album, Jireh, My Provider, featuring Lecrae and Happy. Okay, Jireh, My Provider by Limoblaze, Lecrae and Happy. It is a remix, basically, of the hit Elevation Worship and Maverick City Music song, Jireh, that came out a couple years ago at this point, I think. And yeah, it's a good song. It's a good song, really. It's a good song, but I don't know. I don't want to say it again, but it is, it does also feel very regular of a song. I can understand why it's a hit. Well, at least a small hit in the Christian space, but overall as a track, I don't know. Pretty sure Happy's just a person who did the production, maybe like he did the remix production over the original one. Because there's definitely just Limo and Lecrae on the song. Limo's singing, that's the highlight of the whole thing. He gives a great performance over the track. And Lecrae, gives a very Lecrae-ish feature verse, which means that it's not that good of a verse. His verse is it's pretty mediocre, honestly. I just don't like Lecrae on these pop, it's not even pop, it's just these gospel worship music, but also pop rappy kind of songs. You can literally hear how watered down his sound is on this, and just how much he is holding back lyrically to just kind of fit into this happy palette kind of thing. Because his verse isn't terrible, but it is very mediocre, just the most basic lines ever. And I know that this is not the song for shine your lyrical prowess or anything like that. It's just a feel-good Afrobeats remix of the original Jireh worship song. and it works in that manner. You know, if you're just looking for a quick, nice little worship song with an Afrobeat sound, sure. But other than that, it's just not significant enough of a track to really, you know, justify going back to it. Honestly, at least in my opinion, because Limo does a good job. Lecrae waters down his sound way too much for me to enjoy it. Just the whole production of it, it's not bad. It's decent, but that's just that's just how the whole song sounds to me. It's decent. Everything is decent, you know, and I don't like this kind of decent. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's just not my cup of tea, and also it's just too watered down. I can just hear them holding back in their performances because it's so soft. It's so like leisurely paced. You know, it's 2 minutes 47 seconds long. It's just, you know, it's just a very mediocre song in my opinion. So yeah, it's not bad, but you know, overall I give it about a 6.5 out of 10 because, you know, it's because, like I said, it's not bad. I can see its objective quality, but you know, it's just very watered down, very like poppy, and of course, and I love pop music, right? But you know, but in these cases where these are rap and Afrobeats artists, you can definitely hear, especially like Lecrae just watering down his sound to just fit into this pop palette. And yeah, that just didn't really do it for me overall. So yeah, just a decent track in my opinion. So 6.5 out of 10 is what I'm gonna give it. And that brings us to the end of the Sunday in Lagos EP. So how do I just, you know, final consensus, how do I feel about it overall? Looking at what I gave every song here, it's a bunch of 6.5s. No one got below a 6.5. You know, nothing here was bad. Thankfully, nothing here was bad. But there were some very like passive tracks that I'm definitely not gonna go back to. My highlights are definitely Desire and Gold. Those were great tracks in my opinion. Everything else, you know, everything else is kind of like good at times, but mostly just passive. Like I had to really focus in order to keep focus on them and really see and like give like a fair assessment of how I feel about the song, because I just kept finding myself kind of drifting off in my mind. But yeah, overall, as an introductory project to you know, like regular Reach Records listeners to Limoblaze, as an introductory project, Sunday in Lagos, I think, gets the job done. You know, it's not repetitive. It's not, well, now that I think about it, it is a little bit repetitive. You know, definitely, but it's you know, it has a diverse enough array of Afrobeat sounds to keep it interesting. So yeah, it's a pretty good opening project for him. Hopefully he, you know, expands. And I don't mean by expand, I mean like do something other than Afrobeats. That's not what I mean. He can stay there. He can stay there if he wants, but just, you know, just more more creativity, more just like add more elements and just more moving parts to the music is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, overall, Sunday in Lagos, I'm feeling about a 6.5 out of 10 for the overall project. Right, not a lot of takeaways, but the songs that I'm not taking away, they're not bad. They're, you know, decent, but just very passive in my opinion. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling about the whole project. Didn't hate it, didn't think it was bad, didn't think it was that good either, but it's good enough. It's a good enough Afro gospel, Afrobeats like EP overall. You know, it doesn't like waste your time or anything like that. Most of the tracks are around 2 minutes, so yeah, just, you know, overall good body of work in my opinion. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling about it. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to know when I upload next. This has been Phrasing Out the Exorcist, and I'll see you all next time. God bless.